having spent time just this year with Prime Minister Yair Lapid, with Defense Minister Benny Gantz, with former Prime Minister, now opposition leader Benjamin Netanyahu, all of them, you're right, all of them are unified. They say it different ways, and they've said it with different velocity and intensity, but they're all unified. If no one else will help them, and Iran is this close, Israel is thinking it may have to go to war. Now, I don't want to predict that there's going to be a war, but my goodness, I have not heard since 2012 the type of unified language out of Israeli leaders that we may be getting to a point of no return.
Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to this very special clip from the Watchman TV show on TBN. We want to get right into it with our good friend Joel Rosenberg, editor-in-chief of All Israel News, multiple New York Times bestselling author, and host of the brand new TBN show, The Rosenberg Report, which now airs every Thursday night on TBN at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in and also to subscribe to Joel's channel here on YouTube. It's called Joel Rosenberg on TBN. Let's head now to Jerusalem with Joel as he breaks down the latest on Iran, Israel, and Bible prophecy and what you can expect each week on the Rosenberg Report. Take a look.
Premiering October 6th, a new weekly series.
Hi, I'm Joel Rosenberg, host of the new TBN series, The Rosenberg Report. Each week we'll answer critical questions. What's going on right here in Israel? How does it impact Americans? And how does American policy and politics impact us here in Israel? I'll answer all those questions and more every Thursday night, beginning October 6th, 9 p.m. Eastern on TBN.
Joel, thanks so much for joining us from Jerusalem. I wish I was there with you, but we've got some exciting news to talk about. Your brand new show right here on TBN, The Rosenberg Report. We're going to break it down in a minute. Before I do, I want to talk about the latest on the Iran front. Now, even the UN, the IAEA, the UN's atomic energy watchdog, is saying, hey, wait a minute. Iran is enriching uranium at unprecedented and dangerous levels. What is the latest on the Iran nuclear front?
Well, there's been a real rift in recent months between Israel and the United States. This is a huge story because President Biden prides himself as being a Zionist, being the most pro-Israel leader in the Democratic Party. The problem is he fundamentally doesn't understand the nature of the Iranian regime, and he has been literally begging the Iranian regime to take this deal, which would give them hundreds of billions of dollars, and that's not going to go rebuild their education system or their healthcare system or create jobs or lower inflation. It's going to fund Hezbollah. It's going to fund Hamas. It's going to fund the Houthis. It's going to build this nuclear program. And Israel has been pushing hard. Lapid has done much more in recent weeks, I would say starting in August, really publicly saying to Biden, walk away. You're not understanding how dangerous this regime is. And I think, above all, this shows a rift between Washington and Jerusalem that has been pretty much papered over. And now even Yair Lapid, who I would say would be the most pro-Biden person in Israel, has been quite critical.
Across the Israeli political divide, whether center-left like Lapid to the right, the Knesset can be a crazy place. There's a lot of disagreement, but they all seem to agree when it comes to stopping a nuclear Iran. Do you think this is inevitably heading to a military conflict between Israel and Iran's proxies? In the very least, will Israel feel compelled to defend itself and take action against Iran's nuclear facilities if the world won't lift a finger?
Having spent time just this year with Prime Minister Yair Lapid, with Defense Minister Benny Gantz, with former Prime Minister, now opposition leader Benjamin Netanyahu, all of them, you're right, all of them are unified. They say it different ways, and they've said it with different velocity and intensity, but they're all unified. If no one else will help them, and Iran is this close, Israel is thinking it may have to go to war. Now, I don't want to predict that there's going to be a war, but my goodness, I have not heard since 2012 the type of unified language out of Israeli leaders that we may be getting to a point of no return.
Ironically enough, The coming together of Israel and Sunni Arab nations as part of the Abraham Accords was based in part on a shared Iranian threat. You've traveled throughout the region. I had the privilege of traveling with you as part of an Abraham Accords delegation recently to Bahrain and the UAE. You were in Morocco recently, another Abraham Accords nation. What is the latest on these historic peace treaties? Good things seem to be happening.
Yeah, Eric, it's great to have you earlier this year on that really historic Abraham Accords delegation of evangelical business and media leaders. And wow, we got an earful from Arab leaders as well as from top Israeli leaders. They are terrified of how close Iran is getting and how they don't have confidence that the United States under the Biden administration has their back. Now, on the Abraham Accords, there's no question that the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain and Morocco are moving closer towards Israel, particularly talking now about maybe working together on a missile defense program that maybe the Arabs would fund and Israel would help build with its technology. I will note that Jared Kushner, who was the architect, the chief architect of the Abraham Accords, has been quite critical of the Biden administration, saying, look, they had 6 more Arab countries ready to make deals, and the Biden team has dropped the ball.
Why should Americans care? We know why Israelis care. Your show, The Rosenberg Report, which debuts on October 6th, we will talk about it in a minute. Hey, that marks the anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, 1973, where Israel was in a very precarious position. So Israelis clearly know the stakes. Why should Americans care?
The number one reason is because Israel, in the minds of the Iranian leadership, is only the little Satan. They say this explicitly, that the United States is the great Satan. The supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, and his inner circle, they see Israel as a problem to be wiped out, but only on the way to annihilating the United States. Iran is building not just nuclear warheads and building the fuel to get those warheads ready, but they're also building longer and longer range intercontinental ballistic missiles. How are we going to know exactly when Iran has the ability to fire an ICBM from Iranian territory into the homeland of the United States? We may not know until the missile's in the air. And even though Israel has been working on multi-level, multi-tiered missile defenses, the United States does not have a foolproof system. It just has not invested the money necessary to build a true security system to knock out an Iranian ICBM. That's what's so terrifying, because Iran doesn't simply want to, breathe fiery threats. They want to take out whole cities, and an ICBM with nuclear warheads would enable them to do it. And they're getting closer and closer. And rather than get tough with them, the Biden administration has been begging and cajoling and offering hundreds of billions of dollars for a deal that I think has been insane from the beginning.
Joel, clearly we live in dangerous times, which makes this the perfect time for the launch of your brand new show right here on TBN, The Rosenberg Report. Hey, so much to talk about every week from Jerusalem, where you are at right now. You'll be talking about Iran and the threats, but also the positive, encouraging news in the region for such a time as this. Tell us why you're doing this show, number one, and secondly, what we can expect every week.
Well, Eric, I'm so excited to join the TBN family. When Matt Crouch asked me, hey, we think there ought to be a show. You're doing all Israel news, you're doing all Arab news, you're providing analysis and insights, interviews that very few other Christian leaders in this area are getting. Would you do a weekly primetime show? And I was like, Matt, I love you and I love where you're going. I don't have time to do anything else. I just don't have the bandwidth. But after quite a bit of prayer, I realized this is a unique opportunity at a unique time. Not only is this TBN's first and ever TV show, primetime, produced in Jerusalem, in Israel, to cover the region, but it's actually the only TV show in network television anywhere produced in English from Israel, covering Israel and the region. And for all those reasons, I just believe with all that's happening in the world, geopolitically, economically, prophetically, it would be wrong to say no, and I'm excited. And you're right. We're going to be looking at what's happening week by week, what's really happening in the news, but we're also going to take a look behind the scenes. What's the media not telling you? Let's do profiles of the major leaders that are driving the change in this region. Let's look at and talk to the believers in Israel, in the region. Let's take camera crews and go to Morocco and Bahrain and the UAE, and let's do it from here. What I love about your show, The Watchman, and I've been watching it for a long time, is that God has blessed you with the ability to cover all these things and to do it from the States. You come here as often as possible. I look forward to seeing you soon, again, as always. But it's really an exciting honor that TBN would ask me to do it from here. And I just live not far from these studios. So we're excited for the Rosenberg Report, and no time like the present.
That's right, Joel. It is going to be great. We can't wait to see it every week, every Thursday night and Saturday night, 2 great primetime slots right here on TBN. Joel, good luck with the show. We will be watching, and thank you so much for joining us today, my friend. We really appreciate it. God bless you, Joel. We'll see you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Eric. See you soon.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new Watchman Newscast episodes every weekday.